and welcome to the ICTV annual meeting. We are live on our channels today, which is a first for us, but we're trying to share our annual meeting with as many of our members as possible in this unforgiving, unusual time. So I'm Beth George. I'm the executive director, and we thank you all who are Zooming today and watching on the stream and or on the channels. This is our second annual meeting that we've had to do in the last 8 months because our 2020 annual meeting was pushed to October due to the pandemic. And we had hoped by May that we'd be in person again, but decided we're not quite there yet. So thanks for tuning or Zooming in today. For our Zoomer and viewers, if you email us when you hear the name of our newest board member, your name will be put in a drawing for a special t-shirt. So you can email us at ictv@watchictv.org. That's ICTV@WATCHICTV.org. So we'll draw from those who email us with the name of our newest board member. So that should be a little bit of fun. We currently have co-chairs for the board of directors, Ari Anderson and Eileen Grossland, and Eileen said it's her turn to run the meeting, so we will jump into that. And because this meeting serves the purpose of a regular board meeting and the annual meeting, Eileen will conduct a little bit of business for May 2021, and then we'll move into 2020 reports. So I turn the meeting over to you, Eileen.
Okie doke. We're going to call this meeting to order at 12:02. And welcome to the membership online, to our board members and everyone on the channel. Are there any changes to the agenda that was mailed out to all of you? If not, then we're going to do the consent agenda. And this is an item where we approve the finances, the matrix, and the minutes of the last meeting. In a typical meeting, the board would separate them out to discuss, but in the interest of membership at large, we will move on all three of the items. For the non-board members, some of the highlights are the current 2021 budget income is at 57% of anticipated funds for the year. Ordinary expenses at 34% of anticipated expenditures for the year. At this point, however, capital expenses are at 153% of the budget, given the new operating system was approved post-budget and cost $50,000. We have begun paying off the $10,000 City of Grand Rapids loan taken out during COVID, and our viewership for April was 5,223 over social media. So board members, you've had a chance to look at all of the reports, the matrix, the finances, and the minutes. Beth, is there anything you want to highlight on any of those?
The only thing that's an update is of that $50,000 that we spent on the capital, the Grand Rapids Area Cable Commission yesterday approved funding 20,300 of that. So of the 50,000, we got, just under half of it paid for by the Cable Commission because it does benefit all of the communities that we serve. So that was nice news that we just got yesterday.
Wonderful, wonderful. I don't see Kirk here for treasurer. Anyone else have anything they would like to highlight on those three reports? If not, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
So moved.
Michelle moved. Is there a second?
Second, David.
David Anderson, second. So we've got approval in a second. Any discussion? If not, I'll call the vote. All in favor of approving the consent agenda items, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? All right. Well, that ends our official May meeting. Do I need to officially adjourn it, or can we just go on, Beth? Officially adjourn. Okay. No, David, you cannot leave. So we'll adjourn that part of our meeting and we'll open the annual meeting. So Michelle Smith is our board secretary. Michelle, can you provide a 2020 overview of the year?
Sure. Hi, thanks, Eileen. For membership, the board held 7 full board meetings, 3 executive committee meetings, 1 annual meeting, and 1 programming committee meeting. There were no changes to the bylaws of ICTV in 2020. However, the new mission and goals of the organization were adopted in March of 2020. That mission is ICTV connects, informs, and empowers the community through diverse media. Some of those changes will be discussed after the meeting by the executive director.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Can I have a motion to approve the secretary's report?
So move, Era.
Era moves. Is there a second?
Second, Britta.
Okay, discussion. Okay, all in favor of approving the secretary's minutes or the secretary for 2020 minutes? 2020, yeah, 2020 minutes, I guess. All approved, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, thank you, Michelle. Kirk Gilbertson serves as ICTV treasurer, and we are missing Kirk.
I can do it if you want.
All right, sure, thanks.
For the treasurer's report, in 2019, ICTV had gross products of 366,637, and that's a 1.1% increase in anticipated income. Expenditures were at 306,222, which were 3.3% over budget. However, the capital expenditures were down 10%, so the net income was $8,596. But we have to take into account that ICTV did get that $10,000 loan from the city of Grand Rapids that's being paid back over the next couple of years. Income also included a $5,000 grant from the city as part of that loan grant package, and a $15,000 CARES Act grant from the county through IEDC. If we go to our balance sheet, December 2020 assets, I put the wrong number in my information here, were 387,106. Liabilities were 145,721. So at the end of the year, our total assets and liabilities were 560,884. And we ended the year with a total combined equity and liability of 632,899. So we're in good shape is basically what it says. And there are some things, because 2020 was so strange, that will be straightened out through the tax reporting that we have to work through. And that'll happen because so many people are doing taxes. That will happen in June. Accountants are over the top busy right now. So we'll be just adjusting those numbers slightly over the next couple months.
Okay, thanks, Beth. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I'll move to approve it, Era.
Okay, Era moves. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. ICTV bylaws indicate that we may have between 9 and 13 board members. The current board includes Era Anderson and I as co-chairs, Michelle Smith, Secretary Kirk Gilbertson, Treasurer, and Directors Ann Backus, Britta Arndt, David Anderson, Lauren Wilhelm, Youth Member, and our newest board member, Nichelle Bebo. Welcome. Can I have a motion to, the current executive committee has agreed to continue serving unless others would like to step into the leadership role at this time. Does anyone on the current board wish to step into a new role? Funny how no one answers that question. Okay. So can I have a motion to accept the board and the officers as presented?
I'll make that motion, David.
David, is there a second?
Second, Britta.
Britta, thank you. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of this slate of officers, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, they are approved. Congratulations, officers. This is the time of the meeting when we open the floor or screen, as it is, to members to ask any questions or raise any concerns or make comments. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns of any members at this time?
I just would like to introduce myself, if that's okay.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Bebo. I live on the western part of Itasca County in Ball Club. I'm from the Leech Lake Reservation, and I live in Ball Club, so I'm on our Ball Club local Indian Council. And I try to stay involved in our community as much as possible. And I can't wait to meet you all in person sometime soon, I hope. And I'm excited for my experience with you guys. Well, thank you, Myrna. I'm glad to see you on here. We talked last month. I got to see Myrna in person at our park. So she is my mentor for this. So thank you, Myrna, again.
Thank you, Michelle, and certainly welcome to the board and for the representation from that side of our area. Any other comments from anybody?
I would just like to say, Eileen, this is Beth. We are still looking for a youth member. So if anybody knows of somebody who's a junior, senior, or probably first year at ICC, because we like to have them serve at about 2 years, we could use one more youth member to include those perspectives. And we do have other openings on the board. Like we said, we can have up to 13. So if you know anybody else who's interested, the board can vote on membership to the board at any point during the year. So we would welcome anybody who wants to experience, get experience as a board member, wants to participate in ICTV. We'd really appreciate having more representation than less.
All right, certainly. Thank you, Beth. Also, any of you viewing, if you are not a member of ICTV and would like to become a member, you certainly are welcome. So I guess there's nothing else for this portion of the meeting. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, David.
Okay, David, second.
Second, Era.
Era, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor of adjourning to go to our next portion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so Beth is going to give us some fun and interesting highlights of the last 18 months. I don't know if it's going to be fun highlights, but we're certainly still here and around, and ICTV is still going ahead. So go ahead, Beth.
Thank you, Eileen. 2020 was the year that categorized people, work, and activities. And Governor Walz said early on in the pandemic that media was an essential part of the care package. And so ICTV stepped up to that challenge. Over the course of the year, our staff produced 100 more videos than in 2019. And they were a litany of news conferences, community updates on testing, vaccines, canceled events, Zoom events, and the list goes on. But the difference was the staff did most of the work from their living rooms, kitchens, and lofts. Last July, our administrative associate, Stephanie, became the keeper of the office and worked most days from the office. Others of us came in as needed to get our work done. Technical knowledge and application was put to the test. We uploaded and downloaded as fast or as slow as area networks allowed. Late last spring, we invested in a software that helped us reach more people live and on demand. Mainly, Itasca County was hot with debates over the new jail, and there were a lot of people who wanted to be part of the meetings. So that was very helpful to that. Not everything went as planned with all the new technology. Case in point is this school board meeting, and Stephanie will show you an example of that.
Highest student achievement. Principal report from West Rapids Elementary. Welcome, Sean. Oh, I can't hear you. Nope. We must be having technical difficulties today. He's right.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Lest we forget, and that ICTV was an election year. So while the national ballot garnered a lot of attention, ICTV ensured that the local and state candidates got their due with submitted and or recorded messages. ICTV also participated in a short campaign encouraging voting and registration. We celebrated the holidays as best as possible, including the Santa was put in a bubble around the community. Our most popular video of the holiday season was a segment from our Stay at Home from the Holidays special, which was a welcome song from the Deer River High School Drum Circle. It was shared on social media across the state and got thousands and thousands of hits. And so that was very well received. We're very pleased that those students and community members could do it was a welcome song, not a holiday song, but it was well received. As Michelle alluded to in the strategic planning, I can tell you what was achieved. The news updates replaced weekly news and review programs. So we used to take all of the things that happened throughout the week and make one program. But instead, as things were happening, we put them up on social media and the channels. This was something we were thinking of doing anyway, but it was accomplished in the same week that we went home for the pandemic. It wasn't even supposed to be on the planning dockets until September. So we kind of pushed that ahead a little bit. The same goes for our website overhaul. If you go to watchictv.org, it was supposed to be carefully planned in the fall, but because of some of the changes, it was up and running last summer. We weren't able to accomplish some of the goals simply because we couldn't create the programming we had hoped, but we'll be focusing on more of that soon. ICTV with a fully vaccinated staff will be up in the office on May 17th, and guests may come in, but we please ask that you still mask up. So where are we headed? We are jumpstarting programming now. Last week, we collaborated to produce a guided discussion based on the local documentary Colored Lines, and that's been up and will be playing. We welcomed in a DNR specialist to give us the skinny on new fishing and conservation rules for the season. We started adding the events of summer back into the mix of programming, so we're looking forward to a few of the events that we can cover safely. And Just Outdoors will be rebooted again, so you Just Outdoors fans, look out. Tom Chapin has something very interesting in mind for his welcome back to the programming. We welcome ideas for programming from our community and our members. So we encourage you to call us and say, you know, this might be nice. And we also encourage ones that done with another organizations so we can collaborate to get your messages out or to make messages that are important to the community. To boost programming for the summer, we have very exciting news. We will be collaborating with Twin Cities PEG Media to bring several St. Paul Saints games to the channels. You'll be able to watch some St. Paul Saints games free of charge. And we are looking for some local sponsors. If you know of a business that might be interested in sports, we're trying to get a little bit of support to do that. But those will be on our channel 5/35. They won't be online, but they'll be on 5 Mediacom and 35 Paul Bunyan. And I think if I'm not mistaken, we have about 30 games throughout the whole summer. So that will be interesting, be different. And well, it's not local, it's some real fun programming because there's not a lot of live sports out there yet for us to grab onto. Last night, as a way of update, the City of Grand Rapids approved the first of 2 franchise agreements. The first one was with Mediacom. And what this means to ICTV beyond funding is that in the near future, the government channel will be moved up to HD or high definition and in the high definition channels. It will continue in standard definition as well until Mediacom and Paul Bunyan transition fully to HD programming. It also means that our bulletin board channel 5 and 35 Paul Bunyan will eventually be retired, but we'll continue playing bulletin information between programming and schedule some bulletin times so that we can keep the community fully informed of events and nonprofit information. So ICTV has been a nonprofit in the community for 38 years, but we've been providing content for more than 40 years. So we hope the community will continue to support our efforts to inform, connect, and empower the community through diverse media. And I thank you for joining us today. I always tell my friends to stay negative friends, because we're not quite through all this yet. And again, if you heard the name of our newest member, make sure to email us at ictv@watchictv.org, and we'll put your name in for a drawing. So Eileen, I thank you. That's my portion of the meeting.
Okay, well, on behalf of the board, and I want to thank the whole staff at ICTV, Beth, for keeping things going through the COVID, keeping people informed, and being a leader in getting things out so the public could hear things at the beginning. I know it was very challenging and you rose to the challenge, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Anything else that anyone wants to add?
I got a question for Beth. That's exciting news about the franchise agreement, first of two getting approved with MediaCom. And you mentioned the HD channel. Will they also, and I can't remember the right name, when that happens, will the guide then be, you know what I'm trying to say, when you press the on-screen guide, will that be updated as well to match the programming?
The way that the franchise agreement reads now is that we will be given the opportunity to participate in the putting information on the bottom of the channels, like you see, if you see that, Bonanza's playing or something, or the Eyewitness News, whatever you see, we would have an opportunity for that. What isn't clear right now is there's language whether we would be charged to put that information in or not. It says we'd be able to do it at the same rate, but we don't know right now how much that would cost if we needed to do it. So I'm not promising that we're going to have it up there because it's going to depend on cost. But it is in there that we will be allowed access to it. So we know for sure we're going to be able to do it, but it's at what cost at this point.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of those of us that like to record programs.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the electronic program guide. Yeah,
electronic program.
Yeah, that's what it's called, the electronic program guide. What it would require of ICTV is to go in each week and fill in programs are playing when, and then if you had a DVR or however, you could find it and you could schedule it.
Gotcha. Yep.
So yeah, we did get that in the first franchise agreement, but it's very wishy-washy on what the cost might be.
Okay.
Because we don't know what that company would charge us to put our, 3, then 2 channels in there. So.
Okay, thank you.
I hope that we're going to get that up there because that was one of the pushes, but to even get it in the language was a little bit of a push. And the other thing is with the franchise agreements, our other 3 supporting communities, we have some communities that support by membership, but the other 3 communities that are part of the franchise agreements will have to do what are called line agreements. And those line agreements have to be approved yet through those 3 communities. For the public, it really shouldn't make any difference to what you see, but that you will see on Harris, Cohasset, and La Prairie, probably some action on their meetings where they have to approve the line agreements. And what it basically says is we'll take everything that Grand Rapids has and we approve that, but we're going to need internet access at the city hall, or we're going to need, there's just a couple little things that they outline in those agreements. So we still have to work on a franchise agreement with Paul Bunyan through the city of Grand Rapids, and we still have to work on line agreements with all 3 of the others. but we do have memberships from places like Keewatin and Nashwauk and other outlying communities. So we appreciate that. And this year, we also are getting major support, just so you're aware, from Itasca County. We've almost doubled our support from the county, so we really appreciate that. So we can stream to the entire county now and have people watch. So that's very important.
Wonderful, thank you. Any other questions of Beth?
Hi, Eileen and everyone. Just two things. I want everybody to know how honored they should be to have Michelle as a new board member. She'll bring a lot of interesting new ideas, fresh ideas, and welcome that part of our county into programming. And also, I'm speaking on behalf of accessibility, to not forget about the options of closed captioning and communicating for all modalities, so that I'd be amiss if I didn't continue to bring that up. So thank you for all the work you're doing. Great programming, and I look forward to seeing.
I want to mention for our differently abled viewers that one thing we found that works really well for closed captioning is if you activate on your Google account, up in the corner, you have your little bars. You have the ability to hit captioning on your Google account. And when you do that, the closed captioning works for the videos that are streamed online and on demand or off our Facebook. And they do work really well. There are a few little flubs because we're in northern Minnesota and we have some names that are very hard to interpret, and some people speak a little bit differently. But I see that it works very well and it truly gets the message across. So that's one way that we can inexpensively closed caption for the community. It's not available on our live meetings, but if you were to replay and use a computer, you'd be able to have the closed captioning. So if you want to share that with your friends that need captioning, that's a very good way to do it.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
I just want to thank the ICTV staff, because everybody was asked in the last year to do things in the beginning that we didn't know how to do, but they figured it out, and to do it in places that they're not used to, with kids running around in the background, cats climbing all over us, dogs nipping at our ankles, not my ankles, mine was the cat. But everybody was asked to do it in a really weird situation, and sometimes it was 7 in the morning, and sometimes it was 10:30 at night when things came up, and they persevered and rose to the task. And I think it's going to be kind of a nice thing to be back in the office so that we can actually chat without a screen in front of us and still continue. But I don't think the public as a whole didn't see much of a change, except seeing meetings on Zoom, et cetera, on the channels. But I think we did it fairly seamlessly.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Any other comments?
I have one question. I'm sure it goes to Beth again, just a quick one. Is this meeting itself recorded, or I see a couple staff online? Will it be available for others to view after we adjourn?
Cole, are you recording? Or Pete?
I believe Pete is.
Pete is recording, so we could make it available. We could put it on demand, couldn't we, Cole?
Yeah, either that or YouTube or both.
Yeah, we'd probably be easiest at this point to put it up on YouTube because we don't have a category on demand for this meeting, and it is not expected to replay at this point. But we can put it at, if you go to YouTube and you search Watch ICTV, or if you search just ICTV, our channel comes up. There are about 3 or 4 stations across the world that are ICTV. So make sure you don't get the one over in the Middle East, but or in college. So, but yeah, we'll put it on YouTube.
Could a link via the Facebook post be an option?
Sure.
Just thinking it might get more people interested or go, oh, I don't know. I think it's good.
We can do that. Not a problem.
Anything else? Well, again, welcome, Michelle. And hopefully, when do you anticipate us meeting in person, Beth?
If the board is comfortable, we could do it in June. We'll take a poll and see if you're comfortable with it. If not, then that would be September, because July is an executive committee meeting only, and we could possibly do that one with a small group. But Nichelle, just so you know, we don't meet in August. Everybody gets a break, and so that it would be into September. So we want to just plan for September is my thought, and maybe the executive committee could get together in July.
Sure, that sounds good. Anything else? Any other comments, concerns? So I guess that is it for our annual meeting. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Remember, if you want to be a board member, you're certainly welcome. We welcome student board members. If you want to join ICTV, please join and reap the benefits. Well, you reap the benefits anyway, but it's nice to have you join. So thank you.